Hello, everybody. It's me, Stephanie K from Unveiling the Spirit. I wanted to talk about something a little bit different today. It's not necessarily an unveiling the spirit kind of a thing. It's more of like a personal story. And so, but with that personal story, I want to address how I know God is real. Another question as a Christian that you can get asked a lot sometimes, especially depending on the environment that you're in, is how do you know God is real? I even had my kids ask me, my older kids, I have two teenagers who asked me this about a month or so ago. Like, they were raised to believe in God and things like that. And so they asked me, now that they're in high school and they're getting introduced to different religions, and they have some friends that are Muslim and things like that. And so they're asking me, how do I know that Christianity is the right religion? Or how do I know that God is real? And so I want to kind of answer this question, through a personal story of my own, for any viewers that want to hear it. So, I would say the reason that I know God is real is because there are some things that have happened in my life that I cannot explain. Not only that, well, I guess it falls in the same category, because one of the things in my life that I can't explain is the person that I have become. I was a very messed up kid. I have always been a really sensitive person. I was born that way. If anybody's watching this video knows what HSP is, I had discovered a few years ago that I am HSP, which is, for those of you who don't know, is a highly sensitive person. It's basically the way your brain is wired. Like, you're more sensitive to input. So whether that input is visual, smells, touch, whatever, you are just more sensitive to input. You take in more things, so you get overwhelmed easily, and there are a whole nother slew of kind of characteristics that go with a sensitive person. So I have I found that I was HSP probably about maybe 7 or 8 years ago, which I was very happy when I found it out, because there was a lot of stuff that I felt and did that I never understood. Like, people will call me weird and say, why do you think about certain things? Why do you act this way? Why do you like weird stuff? And I didn't have an answer for it. I just thought I was weird. But when I found out what HSP was, it was kind of like a relief, because it described me to a T, and it made me aware of some of the weaknesses that go along with HSP, so that I can manage them better, which has made a big difference in my life, because I used to get overwhelmed a lot and cry a lot and stuff like that. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I've always been a sensitive person, and so part of being an HSP with this sensitivity and input is you're very observant. So I'm watching all this stuff going on around me as a kid that was not right. Very dysfunctional, very damaging, very hurtful. I grew up in the ghetto. My parents divorced when I was very young. So I saw a lot of violence, a lot of fighting, a lot of arguing, a lot of crime. My home life was not the best situation. And as a sensitive kid, it was very traumatizing to me. And so I started seeking God out very early, because I didn't understand why this stuff was the way it was. It just felt like life was wrong. Like, this is not right, And so I started seeking God at a young age, but I was very damaged. There was a lot of poison that had been put in me about life, about myself, about God, and I just was a very confused, broken, lost person. And so it was so bad that I would say I probably struggled with kind of thoughts of suicide probably most of my young adult life, my late teens and early 20s. I was messed up. There's really no other way to say it. Now, the person that I am now is totally different from that person. Like, I have been healed. I have been delivered. It's amazing. I should not be where I am. It's no way about it. Actually, I should be dead, because at one point the spirit of suicide was so heavy on me that I didn't even want to be alone for like 30 minutes. I thought I would do it. And so I didn't pull myself out of that. I really didn't. And some people say, well, how you don't know that was just you, that you know, because I've talked to some people who have this power of self, and there were small gods and stuff like that. And they say, how do you know that wasn't you? And I'm like, that wasn't me. I'm not even going to lie to myself and say that was me, because it wasn't. I wanted to give up. I wanted to end things. I wanted to just disappear. There was no part of me that was like, let me heal myself. I wasn't thinking that. I just went to God broken, and like I mentioned in another video, it wasn't through denomination. I just prayed to whatever was out there, and I just said, can you help me? Please help me. I don't understand what's wrong with me. I'm unhappy. I don't want to live. I feel tormented. It was just a lot of stuff going on, and I just simply prayed and said, can you please help me? And something helped me, and it was not me. Not to kind of not be so vague about it and be specific. There was one particular time I kept having, and I talk about this in reason 3 of my book series, God, Why Am I Not Married? That book talks about healing. And so in the end of that book, I talk about when God delivered me from the spirit of worthlessness and rejection. And in that, I kept having these breakdowns I can't tell you how often they happen, but I kept having them, that sometimes I would just, that's my phone, hold on. I would just get in these periods of just tears and crying, and I didn't even hardly know why I was doing that. I just felt so hurt and sad inside, and it would just happen from time to time. And so, one time it happened, and I mean, it was overwhelming. It was like a wave was crashing on my head, and I couldn't take it. I really felt like I was unraveling, like I was dying. And I was praying, asking God to help me, and something came. It was a physical feeling. Something came. I felt something enter my chest and take something out. That was not me. And when after that happened, that pain, that source of pain that I had, that I kept crying back over years and years, it was gone. It was completely gone. I never cried like that again after that moment. And so that was not me. That was not me at all. You know, I've had dreams of bad stuff happening, that warnings to not do some certain things, and I didn't do them, and I avoided a huge mess. There are times that I have been crying, and I have felt a presence of peace and comfort come over me and tell me everything is okay. I have had experiences where I was afraid of something, and something was telling me not to be afraid, that this certain thing was going to happen. I was still afraid, but that thing happened. And so all those things over the course of years, because there was a lot of them when you add up my now almost 20-year history of seeking God, they have really added up for me to know that, yes, God is real. Like, it is no way he cannot be real. Even for people who are not, maybe say atheists, it doesn't make any sense that all of this stuff exists. Our bodies are sophisticated machines. That, look at how much effort it takes for us to make something like a computer, which is probably one of mankind's greatest achievements. Technology isn't everything now. So look at what it took for us to make that. And that is not even a small percentage of what the human body does. I mean, from breast to breast milk, from wombs to, sexual reproduction, from our eyes, our nose. I mean, it's no way that our bodies, as precise as it is to do what it does, was not designed by something. There's no way that this universe was not designed by something. There are too many systems working separately and together to create the world that we live in, that for anybody to think that there is not a greater being out there that has designed these things, I just think you are in like huge denial. Now, if you think that there is a God, but you just don't know which God is the right God, to me, the way that and I have told even Christians this, put the books down, put the Quran down, put the Bible down, put the whatever, the Mormon Bible, put that stuff down and ask the being that created you. He has no problem communicating with you. Put the books aside, put the filters aside, and just go to him with an open heart and talk to him and say, look, I want to know who you are. I want to know who you are. Can you let me know who you are? He will communicate with you. It is not going to be the way you expect. And that's why it's important to keep an open mind, because he is much bigger than us. He can communicate on all different types of levels. So he's not going to always come to you the exact way that you want. And so you have to keep an open mind, but I promise you, if you put the books aside, you put your reason aside, your doctrine aside, whatever you were taught, whatever you thought, and just talk to God with an open heart from who you are, from your heart, like you would talk to someone that you love deeply, and just pour your heart out to the person. Just talk to him and ask him to show you. Just say, I want to know who you are. Can you let me know who you are? I really want to know. If you're real, I want to know you. If you created me, I want to know you. So can you show me who you are? Then after you have that initial introduction to him and you feel his presence, because you can feel his presence. It's spiritual, but you can feel it the same way you can feel danger, or the same way you can feel loved from somebody that comes into a room, the same way you can feel that somebody has an attitude even though they don't say anything. You can feel God. And so once you open up to him and you feel his presence, then you can start asking him, okay, where do you want me to go to find out more about you? Is it over here to this religion? Is it over here to that religion? Is it over there? He will direct you. And so that is basically how I know God is real. That is what I did. I went to God aside from books, aside from preconceived ideas. I was just hungry for answers, and he revealed himself to me in ways that if I was to try to tell you everything that he did, it would really fill up probably 2 or 3 books. I'm sorry, that's my computer sending me messages. And so that's what I would say. He has delivered me from so many things I was confused about, so much pain I had, so much confusion I had. And I, like I said, and I will keep saying, the woman that I am today, it amazes me. I laugh. I'm like, wow, you took this broke down person that was so confused and damaged and made me into something that I just can't even believe some of the time, all of the time. And I'm just grateful. And so I didn't do this to myself. I had one friend who was like, what if you find out that the Bible is just not real? And let me add that once I started seeking God, he pointed me towards the Bible. He pointed me towards reading the Bible. And so I started reading the Bible. And as I read the Bible, he started to reveal himself to me even more. And it is beyond just those words on a page. The Bible talks about how some things are discerned spiritually. If you can read the Bible just like a book, just like a regular novel or a textbook, and you still don't really understand God, but when you connect with his spirit and then you read it, it opens up. It's almost like a secret code behind the words, and you like, oh my goodness, I didn't see this, you know, and it's really amazing. But when he comes, he always comes with peace and love, and those things are what we need, is what we hunger for. He doesn't come with conviction. He doesn't come with condemnation. He doesn't come with like, oh, you better. He's not like that. He comes with peace. He comes with love, and it's so relieving and so refreshing. You cannot say that there's anything like that exists in this world, you know. And so I can't deny those experiences. And so I was saying, I had a friend who told me, what if you find out the Bible is fake and that it was written by men and they just tricked you? I said, I don't even care if the Bible is fake. Something has been helping me. And if I had to throw that Bible away because of whatever, or maybe say all the Bibles got burned, I am connected to something that is beyond that Bible. The Bible is only a guide to help me kind of understand him, but him is deeper than that. He's helped me through so much that I couldn't throw that away, no matter how many people told me it was bad. Even if I found out the Bible was fake, there's still something that I'm connected to that's greater than myself, that has transformed me into something wonderful. And that is what I love. That is what I worship. That is what I feel indebted to. That is what my heart is connected to. And I love God dearly for all he's done for me. And so that is like 50 times more important to me than the Bible. So that's how I know God is real. Not only that, he answers prayers. He's answered many of my prayers and directed me. And like I said, there's a lot of things. And so, but that's how I know God is real. I hope this helps anybody out there who has any of their doubts or anything like that. Even if it just motivates you to kind of start seeking God for yourself, and try to find out who he is for yourself, then that's great also. And but the main thing you have to do with God is to be honest, to come to him with your full heart, ready to be open to him and be honest. And he will always answer. He will always be there. He will always show you who he is. And it's a wonderful experience when he does. So, but that's all I want to talk about today, how I know God is real. And I pray that, you know, it helps anybody. This is helpful to anybody. Yeah. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get so tongue-tied. It irritates me. I hope that this is helpful to anyone who had their own questions. So thanks again for tuning in today. You guys be blessed and have a blessed day. Bye.